What's going on, guys? It's Ryan. I wanted to put out this quick video to talk a little bit about some stuff that I've been going through lately and just to see if it resonates with you a little bit. So over the last several weeks, I've been meditating on this question. It's basically a three-part question that I came across in a book called How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci by a guy named Michael Gelb. And the question is, what is one thing I could stop doing or start doing or do differently starting today that would most improve the quality of my life? So for me, I knew as soon as I read that the biggest thing that I could stop doing right away that would improve the quality of my life would be to stop paying so much attention to the news and to stop scrolling on social media. I know I talk a lot about this, but I talk about it because it's something that I deal with. It's something that I struggle with whenever we have all of this information that's right at our fingertips all the time. I know for me, I can get really overwhelmed by a lot of it, and ultimately you end up not really knowing what's true. You feel like, oh my gosh, like the world's collapsing, there's all this drama, all this corruption, all this scandal everywhere, and people are fighting with each other and blah, 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 all the back and forth. And so I basically came across this question and it really put it to me in such a way that I was like, I know that the quality of my life, the quality of my business, the quality of my relationships, the quality of my friendships, all of these things significantly improve whenever I'm just not paying nearly as much attention to this stuff. Now, this is not me saying stick your head in the sand and ignore everything and blah, blah, blah. It has nothing to do with that. What I am saying is that so much of this stuff that we see in the news, so much of the stuff we see on social media and all of the things that rile people up are things that very few of us have any control over whatsoever. And so a lot of it really has boiled down to me meditating on the things that, okay, here's some things that I can control. I can control the information that I take in. I can control the things that I share, the things that I share with my network, the things that I talk about, the things that I get excited about, the things that I allow to get under my skin really is on me. And so a lot over the last week especially, I have just essentially made a commitment to myself. You know what? I'm going to take a hiatus from all of this stuff. I'm going to pull back and try to be a lot more self-aware whenever I feel this urge to just go check the news or check some popular website or go on Twitter or go on Reddit or go on Facebook or, check any of the dozens of inboxes that we have to check nowadays. And I gotta tell you, it's been a really enlightening experience since I've really been meditating on this question, so much so that I actually took this little card and actually wrote that question down, and I now put it in front of my computer. I kind of put it in places that I do a lot of my work so that it's this constant reminder, hey, remember, this is something that you're wanting to be more intentional about. And I gotta tell you, it's been really fascinating how many times I've gotten through something that I'm working on. Maybe I'm working on a project for a client, or I did a coaching call with somebody, or come back from running some errands, or finish up a logo project or something. And it's amazing to me how much of this stuff, at least for me, has been just habit, where it's like, oh, I'm kind of bored and I'm done with what I was doing. Maybe I'll check and see what so-and-so is doing, or maybe I'll check this website. And so I'll go to start typing in these web addresses, or I'll go to open an app on my phone, and I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I in this autopilot mode to just check in on drama? That's all it is. It's just drama. And so much of it is so sensationalized that you literally never know what's actually true. And it comes from the left and the right of the political spectrum. And whether you think that one side or the other is worse is completely irrelevant. The fact of the matter is the vast majority of journalism nowadays is largely just opinion pieces and people trying to keep all of us divided and riled up because that's how they make their money. So for me, I've had to get to a point where I decided, you know what, for me to improve the quality of my life, for me to improve the quality of my relationships, my friendships, my family, the content that I put out in the world, and how I show up, I have to cut back on all this stuff. And it is like a drug. It is like this weird addiction to bad news and drama that we've been so force-fed that having to pull back from it, I'm like, oh my gosh, well, what if something's happening that I need to know about? Chances are, if something's happening that you really, really need to know about, you'll find out about it. But for the vast majority of us, I'd be willing to bet that a lot of the content that you and I consume is largely just useless as it pertains to our daily lives and how we're gonna show up. I mean, the chances of any of us at this point changing how we're going to vote in midterm elections or for which president or whatever, the odds of that stuff changing at this point probably are pretty small. So the best thing for me has been to decide, you know what, I'm going to do what I can to cultivate compassion and empathy and connection and creativity and inspire people and encourage them to go and build their businesses and do their art projects and show up and get connected in their local communities and do what it is that we can do to make the world a better place today than it was yesterday. Because it's got to come from all of us. It's got to come from you. It's got to come from me. And it's only going to happen if we can cut off this constant drip of bad news in our brain. Because I don't know about you, but for me, if that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking at all the time, then it colors my worldview. It changes the way that I show up. It changes the quality of the work that I do for my books, my videos, my clients, all these different things. And ultimately, it doesn't help anybody. And so if you're watching this today, I hope that this is helpful. I hope it's encouraging. For me, the biggest thing that I got to stop to improve the quality of my life, again, cutting out the negative news as much as possible, not saying stick my head in the sand, but only focus on the things I can control. The things I want to start doing more is connecting more with people on a more direct level. So reaching out to friends that you haven't heard from in a long time and sending them a message, actually getting on the phone or doing a video chat with people and just actually connecting instead of just going on their social media pages and reading their thoughts and not actually like connecting with them directly. And also things that I'm working on doing differently is whenever I wake up in the morning, I'm making it a point to not reach for my phone first and foremost. I put my phone on airplane mode. I put it far away from where I'm sleeping so that whenever my alarm goes off, I have to actually get out of bed and go pick it up and turn off the alarm. But I make it a point when I first wake up to not check any email and not check any messages, not go browsing the internet. And believe me, if you are like most people, I can guarantee you're probably nodding your head right now and be like, oh man, yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I wake up, I check the internet, I look on Twitter, I look on Facebook, I look on Instagram and go through my day, and usually by then I'm all riled up about X, Y, or Z. And then right before I go to bed, I'm checking all these things until I get so tired that I pass out. That's no way to live your life. So many of us have been doing that for a really long time, and I don't know about you, but I'm tired of it. And so that's kind of what I'm focusing on. I'm working a lot more on creating my own content. I'm working on promoting my latest book, which is The Science of Getting Rich: How to Think, How to Act, and What to Do to Harness Your Creative Potential. You can get that at scienceofgettingrich.info. It's an awesome book on manifesting and monetizing your ideas. I'm super excited that we were able to just get that out back in July. You know, there's a lot of really great stuff and great opportunities out there nowadays that a lot of people just aren't aware of. And so that's my mission. My mission is to help empower you where you're at so that you can manifest and monetize your ideas and live a life of freedom, not beholden to just kind of going through the general day-to-day drudgery of life. And you wake up, you go to work, you scroll on the internet, you get fed up, then you go to bed, wash, rinse, repeat. That's not living, and none of us really actually want to be doing that. So it's not so much about just stopping doing something, like just putting down social media and whatever. You have to replace it with something positive. So for me, that's been putting down the news, putting down social media, and focusing a lot more on my content, my writing, my websites, and my business, and doing those kinds of things. For you, it might be something else. But my biggest encouragement to you, whatever it is, try to be more self-aware of that stuff. Ask yourself that question. What could I do today that would immediately start improving the quality of my life? What can I stop doing today that would immediately improve the quality of my life? What could I do differently that would immediately start improving the quality of my life? And then do that every day. Get a journal, start writing it down. See what your results are like after a week. See how you feel after a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you'll be surprised at the progress that you make. I hope this has been helpful. If you need any help bringing your own ideas to life, maybe you just need somebody to talk to and how to get unstuck, hit us up at www.reformdesigns.biz and we'll see what we can do for you today. Talk to you soon.
At Reformation Designs, we help businesses look good, work smarter, and make more money so you can focus on what really matters. Get your free consultation today at www.reformdesigns.biz.